What's up, beautiful? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Kat. This is my channel. I had VSG surgery on September 1st, 2020, and today I'm going to be sharing with you things I no longer buy after having weight loss surgery. I don't know if you can see her, but Rory is up in her little bed there, so if she pokes her little head out, she has decided to join me for this video. So there you go. But without further ado, let's jump into this. So I've already done a video on foods I can't eat post-VSG. That's gonna vary between person to person, and in general, this video is kind of varying too. And that's mostly because currently I have the ability to not purchase these things because I don't have kids and I don't have a picky eater as a husband. We've decided not to purchase these items anymore. Sometimes we do, but we very, very rarely purchase the items on the list that I'm going to share with you. And the first one is rice and rice mixes. We used to eat these things a lot, you know. So growing up, we always had a protein, a veggie, and a starch of some sort. So when I moved out and moved in with he was my boyfriend first when we moved in together, I would make protein, veggie, starch. So that was kind of what he was used to. And since the surgery, rice doesn't sit well in my stomach anymore. I mean, I eat it, but I don't buy it at the grocery store and make it on a regular basis anymore because it just takes up more space in my stomach that I'd rather fill with a veggie or a protein. So we are literally still going through the back stock of the stuff I bought before I had the surgery. We're still, like, I had one of those big boxes of instant rice and we're still going through it. It's gonna take us a really long time, but usually what I do is I cook a half a cup and then just my husband eats it and I don't eat it at all. So, but I haven't bought rice in well over a year. Next up is grits. So this might be more of a regional thing, but we have a home in South Carolina. My parents do, that we use frequently. I'll be there next week, which is really exciting. Actually, I might be there the week you're watching this. Check my Instagram for where I'm at right now. But I had like a whole big kick where I was doing shrimp and grits or cheese grits or whatever. But again, similar to rice, I just don't buy it anymore. My husband doesn't ask for it, so I definitely haven't bought it and it is not in my pantry. Next up is potatoes. So I think I talked about this in foods that don't sit well in my stomach or foods I don't eat anymore. I really don't do potatoes very often when we go out to eat. There's a specific fish restaurant that we go to that has the most delicious garlic mashed potatoes. That's about the only time I eat potatoes anymore. And it takes me days to get through like the 1 cup serving that they give you. So I don't buy potatoes. I had some at one point and they went bad before we could even use them. So I just don't buy them anymore. On the potato track, we also don't do hash browns anymore. My husband had a big hash brown kick like maybe a year or two ago. And we usually had frozen hash browns in the freezer and we just don't buy them anymore. Next up is instant noodles or like ramen noodles. I used to eat ramen noodles a lot, not realizing A, how bad they are for you, and B, just why would I buy those? I don't know. I don't buy a whole lot of pasta anymore. I just did another video on food swaps that I make. So I usually do some sort of protein pasta or a vegetable noodle instead. So ramen noodles are not a thing. There are some in my pantry right now, I will tell you that, but my husband bought those, so I have not purchased ramen noodles or any like Asian instant noodle type of thing in a really, really long time, and I will tell you those have been sitting there a while and haven't been touched. Next up is oatmeal. So this one's a little controversial because I had oatmeal. It was the first food I ate post-VSG on day 3, day 2, I can't remember. But oatmeal is like a totally okay thing. A lot of the time it's in the like soft solids kind of category for when you're newly post-op, and I just don't eat it anymore. It doesn't have any protein in it. You could add like a scoop of vanilla protein to it if you wanted, or a scoop of chocolate or whatever, if you wanted to have protein oatmeal, but I just don't reach for it. I'd rather have an egg and get all the nutrients that are in an egg instead of just an oatmeal that doesn't really have much of any nutritional value. So going along with dinners, we no longer do like dinner rolls or garlic bread. So when I make a spaghetti with some sort of altered noodle option, I used to make either dinner rolls or garlic bread. And so I don't do that anymore. The last time I did it was in December when we had a friend over for dinner and the guys wanted garlic bread, so I made garlic bread for them, but I didn't have any. So I don't really buy, I don't really buy bread in general very often, and it usually has to go in my freezer because it will go bad before I will finish it. Like, it literally takes me like 2 or 3 months to finish one loaf of bread. That's how rarely I eat bread. On the bread train, bagels. I used to do a lot of bagels. We used to live in an apartment complex that was by a Panera. So one of the easiest things to do was like on Sunday nights getting like a dozen bagels and then having the bagels for breakfast for the week, which is like a bad thing in general to do because there's a lot of carbs and a lot of unnecessary like sugars. And I mean, bagels aren't like horrible for you, but eating one every single day with, you know, a dump truck load of cream cheese on it is not great for your health, and that is how I was eating them. So I really don't do bagels that much anymore either. Another food product that I never buy but does show up occasionally in my home is dairy from a cow, like actual legitimate dairy milk. So I don't buy cow's milk. My husband prefers cow milk, but he actually prefers oat or cashew milk when I'm cooking, which is interesting. So if he wants a glass of milk, he's gonna want actual cow milk, but I don't buy it. If he wants milk, he can buy it. Otherwise, it does not show up on my tab. I do not buy dairy milk. It's got way too many calories in it, and then skim milk just doesn't taste like anything at all to me. That's what I used to drink, and my husband hates skim milk. So if I'm the only one drinking the skim milk, I should just buy what I want, which is a fancy nut milk instead. Next up is candy, for obvious reasons. I don't eat it. I wouldn't say like I never buy it, but I think I've talked about this in other videos. Candy and like sweets and donuts and those kinds of things, cakes, cookies, pies. When it comes to cravings for me, and maybe I can do a video on cravings or something, but the general gist is if I have a craving for something, I just buy it. I buy it, I eat it, and the craving goes away. And since your stomach can't hold very much of something anyway, like I can't even eat a whole donut, right? So if I'm craving a Krispy Kreme donut, I buy one glazed donut, don't even eat the whole thing, and then the craving's gone and I can move on with my day. It doesn't need to be obsessive like it used to be, and I can just move on with my life. So it's the same thing with candy. I don't ever keep it on hand anymore. Plus my dad's a dentist, so like I never really grew up with candy. I know sugar can be a hard one for people. Some plans tell you can't have sugar anymore. Mine's basically says you can have everything except carbonation. In moderation, of course, but I just don't really buy candy anymore unless I have a craving, and then I have the craving, eat the item, and the craving goes away. Oh, there's Noodle. She's joined the party. Hi, Noodle! Next up is snack foods like crackers, goldfish, Cheez-Its. I don't buy those anymore, not really. The only time I buy them is when we go on vacation, and that's because we're on vacation and it's a little treat. She's gonna just sit up there and watch the birds. Love that for her. That's where the cats hang out all the time. But yeah, so I usually just eat Quest chips, and that pretty much gets it for me. That's pretty much all I want these days. They have enough flavors that like it keeps things interesting and I enjoy them. And then I don't feel bad eating a bag of chips every day because they have so much protein in them and so few carbs that I'm good to go. This next one is kind of an interesting one. I don't buy large amounts of produce. So that seems like an obvious thing, but literally going from buying 4 or 5 tomatoes and a whole head of lettuce and, you know, a couple of onions at a time to literally going to the grocery store and buying 1 tomato is just kind of like very weird, but that's the reality of it. And honestly, like we made taco salad last night, right? So 1 Roma tomato that's like this big is enough to feed me and my husband. So, I mean, I don't take very much of it, so he gets most of the entire tomato himself. And I mean, my husband has a very physical job, so he needs a lot of nourishment to make sure that he is ready and rearing. He's a cop, so he needs a lot of nutrients, and it's just been really weird, like going to the grocery store and only buying 1 onion at a time, and that onion will last me a month, and then, you know, 1 tomato at a time. If I know I'm gonna make taco salad, I just buy 1 tomato. It's just very odd. I don't know. but I don't buy a large amount of produce because we can't go through it fast enough and it goes bad. And I did have to learn that the hard way, unfortunately. Next up is bacon, like pork bacon. I don't buy regular bacon anymore. We used to keep it on hand because we used to do like big breakfasts or breakfast for dinner, and we still do breakfast and breakfast for dinner occasionally. If I buy bacon, I usually buy turkey bacon, but I don't even have that on hand very much. I just don't really have the room for it if I'm gonna eat an egg. So I don't usually buy bacon much anymore, and I don't cook with it a whole lot either. And the last one, can't make a video like this without talking about it. I don't buy anything carbonated. I don't buy energy drinks. I used to drink a lot of Red Bull, a lot of Bang energy drinks. Sometimes I really I feel like I might strangle someone just to get a full gulp of the unicorn Bang energy drink. Sometimes I really miss it. Or the Alani Nu energy drinks are super big right now, and my husband has them in the fridge and he loves them, but I can't drink them, so I don't buy them. Sometimes I miss it, sometimes I don't, but I didn't do the surgery to ruin it by having a carbonated beverage. So take that for what it's worth. If your plan allows you to have it, that's great. My surgeon said no, never again. So the carbonated beverages that are in there, I don't pay for them and I don't drink them. All right, you guys, so there you go. Those are the foods I never buy anymore, or usually mostly never buy anymore, post-VSG surgery. Let me know in the comments below what foods you don't eat anymore. Leave me a loaf of bread emoji or a dinner roll in the comments below if you made it this far. Become a Warrior Crew member by clicking the red subscribe button. Give this video a like if you liked it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Love you, beautiful. Bye.